gentlemen, we are on the air here from Flemington, New Jersey. It's the NJISAA Prep B Championship live here on the Strive Network. We thank you for joining us. Simon Rose alongside Tom Monfiletto. We apologize for coming on just a bit late in this one, but we are on the air in the top of the first inning. And there's a man on second base for Rutgers Prep with 2 men out. And this one chopped to third base, over in the hole, picked up, and everybody will stay at their bases, first and third with 2 outs. The Mobeard shortstop and Kevin Brophy did enough to stop that ball from going into the outfield, and that was probably enough to prevent a run.
Yeah, Simon, these turf fields, you'll see some plays like this happen, as you see it just kind of bouncing right kind of in front of the plate, but got enough inertia off of the turf to be able to get in there for a base hit.
Good choice of words with inertia.
Thank you.
First and third, and this one ripped into left field, a base hit. And the Rutgers Prep Argonauts on the board first as Anthony Kuzmenko, who started the inning with a leadoff single, comes around to score. Credit the RBI to Sam Beck.
Good piece of hitting by Beck, and that's a great job by the hitter before him to get on base with 2 outs. Really just do what he can to get the ball in play. Like we said, on this turf surface, you're going to get some base hits that you might not get on grass fields, and just staying alive there and keeping the inning going allowed for a run.
Facing off against Pat Dempsey, the pitcher for this Morristown Baird team. Morristown Baird playing in the Prep B softball championship just a few hours ago. That one got underway, and it finished off just about an hour ago where Gill St. Bernard's won their second Prep B title in a row. So congratulations to the Knights. The Crimson get another shot at a title here with this NJISAA Prep B baseball championship that they have allowed a run across here in the top of the first and second, 2 men gone. And the hitter is Lorenzo Garoso, 324. He's hitting this year, 8 RBIs on the season for Garoso. The count 1-1 to him. And it's a breaking ball that stays inside. Count 2-1. It'll be Garoso, Vitriani, and Langenfeld after him here in the top of the first. That's only if Garoso gets on here, the designated hitter. And he slaps this one up the middle, a base hit. Coming on around second is Beck, and he will be out at home plate. What a throw from center, and that will keep Rutgers Prep to just 1 run in the top of the first. Dylan Sinegro with a strike to home plate as we get another look.
This is a big-time throw by the center fielder. A risky call to center. The center fielder was not playing very deep. And again, this turf surface, you get some good bounces as you got right there. And an excellent play by the catcher to block the play to get the out of the inning. That is a huge play to keep that runner at bay, and that's a big momentum change going into the bottom half of the inning, just keeping the score at 1-0.
So after the top of the first inning, it is a 1-0 ball game. Rutgers Prep will take the mound with their man, Anthony Kuzmenko. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we will get this bottom of the first started. All right, we come back to look at Anthony Kuzmenko's warm-up pitches here. Let's see who he will face in this Mobeard starting lineup. Dylan Sinegra hitting .409. He bats first for the Morristown Baird Crimson. Then Ryan Green playing second base. He's hitting .241. Kevin Brophy is the big man in the middle of the order. The shortstop hitting third. Pat Davis follows him in the cleanup spot. And Drew Jansen behind the plate, hitting .378. Tyler Facenda for the Crimson, playing DH today. Ian Bomey, for the Crimson, playing third base. Ryan Russo in left, and Jonathan Schaaf in right. It starts off with Dylan Sinegra. Again, .409 this year, 25 hits and just under 60 at-bats. 18 runs scored for the center fielder.
Coming off a big defensive play as well in the field. A lot of times you see guys that come off of the big defensive plays that do something with the bat here. So let's see if Sinegra can turn his great play into a good at-bat here.
Count 1-1 to him. And here's the pitch, and this one lined up the middle. Ground ball base hit, and Sinegra is aboard. So that'll bring up Ryan Green. Get a nice good look at the back of the dome of the third base coach.
He's trying to get a good look at Sinegra, but third base coach, there we go.
There he is.
There he is. Oh.
Against Sinegra with 12 steals this year, so he is a threat to run on the base paths. And that one is in for a strike on the outside corner to Ryan Green. Green playing second base today, hitting .241. 0-1 the count to him. 0-2.
And you can see Kuzmenko is making a concerted effort to get the ball to the plate quickly. Went to a slide step there to keep the runner at first close because he knows Sinegra is a threat to run.
So the count 0-2. Sinegra takes his lead. He's not going. The pitch is taken outside for a ball. 1-2. Rutgers Prep coming off of a very exciting win against Princeton Day School in the semifinals of this tournament. And I believe it was Kuzmenko who came in the 7th inning to get the save in that one. The final was 3-2, but Princeton Day School in their bottom of the 7th. The game was played in Princeton, so Rutgers Prep was on the road, and PDS had last licks as this one is chopped to shortstop. Could be 2. To second for 1. Over to first. It is not in time. Broken up at second base, and that did enough to slow the throw to first. Maybe in the major leagues, that's that new rule comes into play.
The Chase Utley rule.
The Chase Utley rule.
Now it's a good slide by Sinegra to break up the double play. And that slide is exactly what prevented the double play because it forced the throw to go into the ground. Still a pretty good throw. This one is in for a strike. But good heads-up play, keeping a runner on base.
So this is the big bopper in the Mo Beard lineup. Kevin Brophy's numbers just jump out at you. 456 this year. He's got 4 home runs on the season, and he slaps this one up the middle. They go to second for 1. Over to first. Safe at first base. And perhaps our replay will show differently. And, whoa, Brophy's going to go to second, and they tag him out there.
I don't understand what happened. Did he think he was out?
I am honestly not sure either. Maybe he tried to get Morristown Baird napping, or tried to get Rutgers Prep napping.
So let's take a look at the tail end of this. You'll see him crossing first base. We'll see if he's actually safe or out. It looks like he was out. He's called safe. And let's see what he does here. If Rutgers Prep is walking off the field, that's what happens. Rutgers Prep is walking off the field. So
he thinks that there's nobody at second base.
Yeah, and then he winds
up. And then Rutgers Prep comes back on the field. So he's out twice on the play.
Right. Oh, man, tough call to make at first base there.
Yeah, so in the end, the Morristown Baird Crimson go down 1-2-3. And we go to the top of the second inning with a score of 1-0, Rutgers Prep leading. Let's take a look at the starting batting order for this Rutgers Prep Argonaut team. We already saw Kuzmenko, Shantz, and Crystal, and Henry. Beck and Garoso all got at bats in that first inning. So in this inning, we'll see Giulio Vetriani, John Langenfeld, Joe Gersbeck, and Chris Emmett. Also take a look quickly at the starting defense for Morristown Baird. Dempsey on the mound, Jansen behind the plate. From first to third goes Davis, Green, Brophy, and Bomey. And then in the outfield, Russo, Sinegra, and Schaaf. As this first pitch is taken for a called strike. Vetriani hits it to the left side, up with it from third base, over, and a 5-3 putout. And there is one away here. Bomey retires Vetriani.
It's a good pitch to get ahead in the count on the outside part of the plate. Couldn't get the barrel on it. And a quick out for Mo Baird to start off the second here.
So that's going to bring up John Langenfeld. He's hitting .302 this year, the lefty. Will take a pitch for a called strike on the outside corner from Dempsey. 28 innings pitched for Dempsey. Only 12 strikeouts, so not much of a strikeout pitcher, as he's got a very high arcing curveball that is fouled away to the left side. And the count 0-2 quickly to Langenfeld. Dempsey winds and delivers. This one way outside, taken for a ball, 1-2. Both teams in their white jerseys. As the pitch is delivered, waited on the another breaking ball from Dempsey. And Langenfeld slaps it out of play to the left side. It is still 1-2. Again, Simon Rose here, Tom Monfiletto as well. Live high school baseball here on the Strive Network, as that one taken outside for a ball, much to the disagreement of some Morristown Baird faithful in attendance in Flemington, New Jersey, here at Diamond Nation. Beautiful facility. And here's the 2-2 offering from Dempsey. And this one up the middle it goes. Nice play made, and it will be not in time as the throw takes the first baseman off the bag. Green over to Davis.
It's a tough play. It's another kind of turf base hit, and I hate to keep bringing this up, but it is, you know, this facility is fantastic. The turf fields are excellent because you get so many more games in. However, when you don't play any games all season, I'm not sure if they have played here this year, but when you don't play on turf, and Rutgers Prep infield actually is turf, so they have a little bit of experience with it. And I'm not, does Morristown Baird have turf as well?
You know, they have turf
field?
on a lot of their facilities. I don't recall seeing their baseball facility.
I think they might, actually. So what I was about to say is just completely insignificant now. But if you are a team that doesn't play on turf, it's tough to get used to. But
right.
It looks like both of these teams are
No
used
point
to it.
taken. It's something that we saw in the softball game, as this one is hit out to center field, and Sinegra lofts under it and makes the catch. There are two away.
Morristown Baird has had a long litany of successful center fielders. John Giannis back in 2007, I believe he graduated, went on to play, did a postgraduate year at the Hunt School, and then went on to play at North Carolina State and was eventually drafted. So a very, very successful center fielder for Morristown Baird.
It's going to bring up the top of the order. Kuzmenko singled and scored in the first, and he takes a first pitch strike. He's hitting .487 this year. That's the kind of guy you want out of your leadoff position. He's got 3 homers as well from the leadoff spot. Here's the pitch from Dempsey. It's outside for a ball.
And if you ever go to Rutgers Prep's field, they are kind of landlocked a little bit. So that fence is very, very generous, especially to left-handed hitters. And Kuzmenko is certainly taking advantage of it.
This one, he goes to left field, and he puts it in for a base hit. Up to second goes Langenfeld. And that's going to bring up Danny Shantz. So the top of the order starting to make some magic happen as they did in the first inning. Here they come, Shantz, Crystal, and Henry.
I mean, if you can hit, you can hit. Stays back on that beautifully, pokes it out into left field. That's a great piece of hitting.
Shantz also hitting above 400 this year. 406, swings at the first pitch here, fouls it out of play. Flew out to right field in the first. Was one of the two batters you did not see, as we were just a bit late to come on. And here is the pitch. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Oh boy. It took forever to get to home plate, but when it did, it crossed home plate for a strike. And the count 0-2 to the shortstop, Shantz. Here's the offering from Dempsey. Over to first base and retired by Davis, and that will do it. No runs across here in the second inning for Rutgers Prep. 2 hits and 2 left on base. We go to the top of the second. The score is 1-0. Argonauts lead.
Those scoreboards do? Wow. Yeah. It's pretty sweet.
We come back for the Morristown Baird half of the second inning of play. It is a 1-0 game. It is the NJISAA Prep Championship. Camera hog over there, that third base coach.
And this guy, too.
I don't think anybody realizes that our camera over there is a camera.
Yeah. It's a giant robot. Taking in the game.
Taking in the game. First pitch was in there for strike 1, as well as the second pitch. It'll go Davis, Jansen, and Facenda. Remember, Brophy grounded into that weird double play at the end of the inning. So it's Pat Davis in there, and he is down looking. Backwards K for Kuzmenko. First strikeout of the game for either team.
Kuzmenko is throwing really, really well today. He seems very fresh. He has that nice 3/4 action, arm action, and he's doing a really nice job so far.
So 1 out and nobody on for Drew Jansen. And another first pitch strike. Often said that the best pitch in baseball is strike number 1. And so far, Kuzmenko is coming out firing, 0-1. And this one is slapped into right field, a base hit. They're thinking about going the short way to first base. It's the right fielder for Rutgers Prep and Justin Henry. So there is a man on first base with one out.
We're going to have a courtesy runner coming in for the catcher. Nice piece of hitting. Get a runner on base to start the inning off.
Tyler Facenda is the next to bat here for Mo Beard. The lefty steps in, hitting .333, among the team leaders in RBIs with 13 on the season. Swung through, strike one.
And Kuzmenko has some decent run on his fastball because of his arm angle. He does get that tail away from lefties. It's a very effective pitch.
So 0-1 the count here to Facenda. And he serves this one into left field, falling fast, coming in, and making the catch. In left field is Giulio Vetriani. Man, that one was dipping quickly. We take one more look. Let's see if this one cracked the turf. Yeah, it's going to be tough to tell from here, but we'll have to take the umpire's word, and we'll give Vetriani the benefit of the doubt as well, making a very nice play as the second out is recorded. So Ian Bomey steps in, the third baseman. And he fouls this one away to the right side. Count 1-1. Ball taken, 2-1 the count to number 8. And Ian Bomey, 1-0 score here in the top of the second inning. Rutgers Prep with the early lead. And this one chopped up the middle, and it'll get through for a base hit. So there are men at first and second base. As Bomey is aboard, it's the third hit of the evening for Morristown Baird, and that's going to bring up Ryan Russo. You're in a big spot. You got a guy in Russo and John Schaaf who are hitting below 200 this year, but if you can get really any production out of the bottom of your lineup, that's extremely big as you turn the lineup over for next inning. Breaking ball outside. Got to look at a beautiful evening here at Diamond Nation. Game 2 of our doubleheader live on the Strive Network. The pitch from Kuzmenko. It's in there for a strike, 1-1. Kuzmenko delivers, breaking ball in there, strike 2, just on the outside corner. The umpire here giving the outside corner. And a lot of the fans here, especially those for Rutgers Prep, not liking it. That's a strikeout for Kuzmenko. Another called one on the outside corner, and down goes Russo. So, after 1.5 innings, score still 1-0. Rutgers Prep with the lead. We start the Rutgers Prep side of the second inning. All right, we just made a mistake. It's the top of the third inning. Man, that first half inning really throwing us off. And I got to be honest, the fact that these two teams are both wearing very similar looking jerseys is a little bit confusing as well, but we'll get our bearings by the end of this one, we promise. As this one is taken inside for a ball. Andrew Crystal is the batter here in the top of the third. And he takes a strike. 3-1. Crystal grounded out to third base in the first inning. And he hits this one to left field. Fly ball is caught there and left by Vetriani. Excuse me, Ryan Russo playing left.
A lot of Italians on the field, Simon. It's easy to. Am I on? You got me? There you go. I was just trying to throw you a bone there. A lot of Italians on the field. Sometimes it's easy to mix them up.
Yeah.
Got Russo, Vistriani.
Got another one on the mic, Tom Monfiletto, also the assistant baseball coach over at the Hun School. As this one is hit into left center field, it'll drop for a base hit. And Justin Henry is aboard. Henry came around and scored in the first inning after singling. And he is 2 for 2 in this one. And he's aboard with one out in the top of the third. It'll bring up Sam Beck.
Starting to get into that twilight mode here at Diamond Nation, where it's a little bit harder to judge fly balls.
Yeah, there's also some light over there on the pitcher and more of a shadow across the batter's box. Does that make any difference? Is that
Yeah.
Who does that favor?
Favors the pitcher. Yeah, when you see when the ball's going through different planes and it's got two different shades of light on it, it's a little bit more difficult, which is why you always hear that talked about in the playoffs.
As this one hit over to third base, up with it to second, over to first, a double play. They turn it nicely. 5-4 to 3. Gersbeck to Lang to Beck. And there is a double play to end the frame. So we go to the bottom of the third inning, still 1-0. Rutgers Prep leads.
Dude, look at the Jumbotron. That's sick.
Bottom of the order to start here for Morristown Baird as they look to get on the board and perhaps tie, perhaps take the lead over Rutgers Prep here in the NJISAA Prep B Championship. Anthony Kuzmenko back on the hill, striking out 2 in the last inning. He'll face Jonathan Schaaf, who's at the bottom of the order here for Morristown Baird, and then Sinegra, the leadoff man for the Crimson. First pitch strike. Here's the 0-1 offering. It's chopped to third base. Bomey up with it across the diamond. Having to dig it out was Beck, but he did it nicely. And there's one away. Third baseman not doing the first baseman any favors here. But a 5-3 put out all the same. Good look at this pick by Beck. That is not easy, especially considering you've got some turf in play and those hops are a little bit more violent. So one out. And the batter is Sinegra, who singled in the first inning. So his .409 average, which was the average coming into this game, has climbed just a few points as he's 1 for 1. Count is 3-0 here to Sinegra. Guy obviously has a leadoff man who's not afraid to take a walk, and he does so here on 4 pitches. Not the guy you want to walk, who leads the team with 12 steals. But Sinegra is on for the second time, and that will bring up Ryan Green. Kevin Brophy on deck for Morristown Baird, as Sinegra takes his lead off first. And this one hit hard to second base, bobbled for a moment, but still recovering. Not in time for the double play, but at least they got one. That was Green, who stayed with it and flipped over to the shortstop.
Another really close play at first base. This time the call goes to Morristown Baird.
Excuse me, Langenfeld, the second baseman. Green was the hitter. Ryan Green is now at first base after the fielder's choice. And Brophy hits this one hard to left field, but right at the left fielder in Russo, and the side is retired. So they strand a man at first base, but Rutgers Prep maintains their 1-0 lead as we go to the 4th inning. Come back and take a look at the coach's corner. John Shepard in his 24th season for Morristown Baird, elected to the New Jersey High School Coaches Hall of Fame back in 2014, 5-time Prep B champion, looking for number 6. Entering the season, the record 352 and 188. He's racked up a few more wins as he climbs closer to 400. Larry Santuaso, 20th season, 3-time Star Ledger Coach of the Year, 2-time Prep B champion, 7-time Patriot Conference champion. So certainly some bona fide skippers at the helms of their respective programs for Morristown Baird and Rutgers Prep.
I believe it was just 2 years ago Rutgers Prep won the non-public B championship. So Coach Santuaso has been head of a pretty good sustainable program here for a few years.
Good guy too, just met him before the game. Here's Lorenzo Garoso. The designated hitter takes strike 1. Pat Dempsey on for his 4th inning of work. He's given up 1 run in that first inning as this one is chopped down the third baseline foul. look at Bomey, the third baseman for Morristown Baird. Bomey and Brophy, third baseman and shortstop. And this one is waited on and served into right field, a base hit for Garoso. Very patient, hitting at the plate, in one of those slow-moving curveballs is served into right. You got a pitch like that, Tom, that slow-moving curveball. You got to think there are sometimes you want to throw it in there. Sometimes it's easier for the hitter to read. Sometimes, you know, it is a very effective pitch.
No, I completely agree. If you really just want to keep hitters off balance, and if you have that much of a change of speed between your fastball and either your breaking ball or your changeup, it does. You don't want to telegraph it too much, because if he hangs it, that's a problem. But having something that you can throw for a strike that's a change of speed is very, very effective no matter what it is.
We mentioned Dempsey, not a guy that strikes out a ton of guys, so 12 strikeouts through his now 30 innings pitched this year. So he does pitch to contact a bit, and you've got to have very good control to do that. See Morristown Baird coming together here, and sometimes when you've got pitchers that pitch to contact, everybody's got to be on the same page. From the pitcher to the fielders in terms of where everybody's positioned, where you're going to serve that ball over the plate.
Yeah, and it helps when, you know, sometimes you'll see Brophy or you'll see the second baseman signaling to each other, or even to the outfielders, what pitch is coming. And that's something you see pretty smart baseball players do. If they know the signs from the catcher, just letting everybody know what kind of a pitch it is, just to kind of give them somewhat of an idea of where the ball might be placed on a hit.
This is Giulio Vetriani, the left fielder. As Garoso takes his lead off first. No man out here in the top of the fourth inning. This game flying by, showing bunt. And they're going to throw behind the runner. I think they got him. Safe in there at first base. The throw beat him, but it was just a bit high. And that provided enough time for Garoso to get back. We're going to get a great look at it here. They had him leaning. And they had him dead to rights. Of course, the pitcher comes in there, and it's going to be a little bit tough for us to tell whether he got the tag in, but it did look like he was safe over there, Garoso. And now this time the bunt does get downfielded by the pitcher, and Dempsey over to first base. And the sacrifice is good. 1-3. So Garoso to second, and John Langenfeld will step in. So a man in scoring position here for Langenfeld. Hitting .302. He's got 10 RBIs, not an easy out. And the 8th spot in the order. He did single in the second inning. And the count is 1-0. To Langenfeld is in there. Strike one called on the outside corner.
It's a really aggressive strike call by the umpire. He will he'll give you a side shuffle of about a yard and then give you a nice good pump on the strike. Very enthusiastic.
In there, strike number 2. And you wonder sometimes if the pitcher, when he gets that strike call, does that give him any extra confidence?
Yeah, it gives him tons of juice. Absolutely. Absolutely. You got umps that love calling strikes. You know this is going to be a defensive battle.
It's been low scoring to this point, 1-0, but Rutgers Prep with a runner in scoring position. This one fouled away to the left side.
It's going to be catcher's interference.
Oh, wow. So coming around was on the swing, Langenfeld. His bat was caught by the catcher here. And Drew Jansen.
It's a little creeping up a little bit too far there.
You were a catcher too, so you've got some experience with that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I ever had that.
Catcher's interference.
If I ever had that called, but you do try to get, because you can steal pitches. The closer you are to the batter, you can steal pitches, especially the low ones. And so you teach your catchers to get as far up as you can, far enough up so that you can even like touch the guy's back elbow with your glove if you just reach your left arm straight up.
But it is a fine line.
It is a fine line, and if you get caught reaching, like we just saw, that can be problematic.
And it was tough too because Dempsey was up in the count, so there are 2 men aboard, and this is Gersbeck who hits it into right field. Over near the line, the catch is made, and the runners will stay put. Nice play made in right field by Henry. And it keeps the runners at first and second with 2 outs. And Chris Emmett, the center fielder, will step in. I checked that the leadoff man and Anthony Kuzmenko as they flip the lineup around. Kuzmenko 2 for 2, singles in the first and second. He has scored the game's only run. Langenfeld at first, Garoso at second. And this one's spoiled foul. So Kuzmenko now above 500 on the year with his batting average, coming in at 487, and he's 2 for 2. Impressive young player. As he awaits the 0-1. Breaking ball stays way outside. And the count even at 1. Kuzmenko, the junior, awaits and hits it to the right side. Over is the first baseman, the pitcher covering. It gets away, runner coming home. Here comes Garoso to the plate. He is out at home plate. So Davis went over to cover, or Davis went over to field the ground ball. Dempsey went over to cover. They couldn't connect on the throw. Garoso was aggressive coming home. As we'll get one more look at this one. High chopper hit into the hole.
That's a really tough play, a bad throw, but a really tough play to make because of where the ball was, kind of in that no man's land.
And how about the second baseman coming over? That was Green backing up the play.
That's huge.
You gotta love that as a coach, as he prevents a run, a guy who initially shouldn't even have been involved in the play. So the score remains 1-0 after the throw out at home. And we go to the bottom of the 4th. Morristown Baird coming up.
Yeah. The throw was terrible.
Bottom of the 4th inning here. As the Crimson look for a leadoff base runner. It's a chop to third, and across the diamond it comes. And Gersbeck retires Pat Davis. 5-3 on the putout.
Pretty cool feature they have here at Diamond Nation, these new high definition scoreboards,
Yeah, how about that?
Jumbotron, if you will. They're putting graphics on there for each team's. It's kind of A+ treatment you get here when Diamond Nation hosts your event.
It's the second year in a row that we have been here at the Strive Network covering this Prep B Championship.
Last year we saw Gill St. Bernard's come through with a win over, actually I'm not really I'm not sure if I remember.
It was a while ago. It was about a year ago.
It was a year ago to the day.
Anyway, it's 0-2 here.
Oratory Prep, perhaps? I'm not quite sure.
It was one of those schools. Bet you it was in New Jersey.
It was.
Kuzmenko has the count 1-2 to Drew Jansen, the catcher. And Jansen hits it sky high on the infield. Over is Henry as well as Beck. And it was Beck who makes the catch for the second out of the inning. And Kuzmenko is in a very nice groove here for Rutgers Prep.
It was Montclair Kimberly Academy, excuse me. I know we live streamed a game, I believe the previous year with Gill St. Bernard's, or it might have been last year as well, against Oratory Prep, but that was not the Prep B Championship.
Here's Tyler Facenda. He lined out to left field his last time up in the second inning. Very clean sheet thus far for Anthony Kuzmenko. As he goes through the order a second time here, and he's thrown another first two pitches for strikes. The 0-2, low, ball one. Fastball in there from Kuzmenko. Here's the offering, breaking ball in there, and a strike three swinging on Tyler Facenda. Third strikeout for Kuzmenko, and we are flying along in this one, heading to the fifth inning. It is a 1-0 Rutgers Prep lead. Matt Dempsey on again for his fifth inning of work now for Morristown Bears. He's given up one run to this point. 6'1", 160-pound senior. A breaking ball is hit hard to the left side and up with it and over to first base. That was Bomey to Davis, and quickly there's one away. Another breaking ball is taken low for a ball to Andrew Crystal. Got a guy like Dempsey who pitches the contact, Tom. You've got to have a good defense behind you. And so far, Morristown Baird has been very sound defensively. Count here, 1-0. The catcher, Crystal, grounded into a fielder's choice back in the first inning. He takes a ball here, 2-0.
I like how both pitchers are really challenging the hitters inside. It's something that you don't see enough in high school baseball. A lot of pitchers like to work the outer half of the plate, but pitchers that have the guts to throw inside are very, very effective.
And this one too far inside, and it's a walk issued to Andrew Crystal. So that's going to bring up Justin Henry, the right fielder, who is 2 for 2 on the game, hitting cleanup. And another mound visit as the entire infield and a head coach will head in there.
The courtesy runner, the whole concept of a courtesy runner is really fascinating. I remember when I was a senior, we had a football player who was headed to Notre Dame who had never played baseball before in his life. But our coach thought you could teach baseball, but you can't teach speed. So he had a catcher that got on base a lot. He was able to run for that catcher. And
how did that work out?
It worked out really well, really well. And then the following year was the same situation. Our catcher was actually a robust 225 pounds at the time, I believe, but had the highest on-base percentage. And it didn't matter because we batted him leadoff because he got on base so much.
You get the best of both worlds. You get a great catcher, and you got speed on the base pass.
Exactly. It was actually a pretty good strategy.
I bet you the Cincinnati Reds wish they could do that at the major league level with Billy Hamilton.
Yeah. Just not let him hit.
As Justin Henry has the count 1-0. Again, 2 for 2 on the game. Another breaking ball is way inside. And Dempsey is behind in the count, 2-0.
I think Dempsey's starting to get a little bit tired. You saw both mound visits. I don't see anybody warming up in the bullpen, but I do feel like he might be starting to tire. With these tournaments, you do throw a lot of innings.
In there for a strike.
These tournaments, you do throw a lot of innings. The games are packed kind of tightly at the end of the year. You got to get them all in before all the stuff happens at school with prom and graduation and all of these exams and all this other assembly type stuff that goes on at school. So you really try to pack these tournaments in small, short periods of time. And in doing so, your pitchers kind of extend themselves a little bit.
So we'll see if Dempsey can bear down here, down 3-1 in the count. By the way, the base runner is Luke Basella, the senior. He leads off first, and that one is in there for a called strike 2. The count worked full. And let's see if Coach Santuoso wants to start the runner at first. Runner moving. Here's the pitch. Hit to third base, and it gets through. Masella to third. He's in there safely, and that's going to be an error on the third baseman, Bomey. And there are men at first and third with one out as Justin Henry gets aboard once again.
And that's good, aggressive base running there by Rutgers Prep, understanding where the outfielder was and understanding you can take an extra base. And that's a great job to get a runner on third, put a little bit more pressure on this Morristown Bear defense.
So Masella 90 feet away from making this a 2-0 Rutgers Prep lead. We are just about an hour into this game. First pitch was at about 6:59. It is now 8:02 on the clock. Here in the 5th inning, top of the 5th inning. Man on first is Justin Henry. You just saw him reach on an error. Man on third is Luke Masella. He's running for Andrew Crystal, the catcher, who reached on a walk. Count is 0-1 to Sam Beck, the first baseman. Might see Beck on the mound before it's all said and done. He was the starting pitcher and a dominant starting pitcher at that, as they will scare the runners back to first and third. Beck got the win against PDS in the semifinals. Watches a breaking ball. Bounce before the plate. Now goes Jansen to make the play. If you're a catcher, Tom, you've got to put a little bit extra focus when there's a guy at third base. You know that breaking ball's coming. You do not want to let that ball get by you. Here's the wind and the pitch from Dempsey. This one up high.
Yeah, absolutely. And even with a first and third situation here, these are always situations where catchers get maybe a little bit tense, but certainly more locked in to the situation. Number one goal, obviously, being to not let that runner at third score.
2-1 the count. Dempsey's pitch is fisted right back to the pitcher. A man holds at third base, and over to first base goes Dempsey. Good pitch, the off speed. Fooled Beck, and he taps it lightly back to the mound, 1-3. Up to second base goes Henry.
And that's just a big time out. That's a big time pitch in a huge situation. And to make the play yourself is even bigger. So keeping the runners at third looked like a dangerous situation there. Getting that out is absolutely huge.
Here's Lorenzo Garoso, who singled his last time up, and this one is going to split the outfielder and roll all the way to the wall. 2 runs are in. Garoso is going to pull into second base with a big 2-out, 2 RBI double. Garoso thrown out at home plate back in the 4th inning. And he made up for that potential base running mistake. You never want to be the last guy thrown out on the base paths with a big 2-out double. And he'll get a courtesy runner as well. Sure, he'll get plenty of love heading back into the Rutgers prep dugout.
Let's take another look at this swing, Simon. Just kind of left up in the zone. A nice short swing. You focus left center, right center, gap to gap, and just a beautiful swing there by Garoso.
So that'll bring up Giulio Vetriani, the left fielder, who's swinging at the first pitch. Courtesy runner is Abhinav Penamudi, the junior. Here's the pitch from Dempsey. Breaking ball is in on the hands and slapped foul by Vetriani. Vetriani grounded out in the 1st inning. He sacrificed in the 4th inning. Dempsey's delivery, waited on, another breaking ball. And you can just see how off balance those hitters are as they try to wait on that ball coming to the plate.
Yeah, that one looked like a cutter almost, or kind of like a small slider as compared to the big, slow hook that we've seen. So kind of going through his whole entire bag of tricks.
0-2. This one grounded to second. Up with it, Green over to first, and the side is retired. But the big blow provided by Lorenzo Garoso. A 2-out, 2 RBI double makes it 3-0 Rutgers Prep as we head to the bottom of the 5th. You're watching high school baseball. It's the NJISAA Prep B Championship live on the Strive Network. Bottom of the 5th inning as Morristown Baird comes back up to bat here. Simon Rose alongside Tom Monfiletto as the first pitch is in there for a strike. 0-1 the count to Ian Bomey. Kuzmenko has retired 6 of the last 7 batters. And this one fisted out to center field. Under it is Emmett. He makes the catch. There's quickly one away. Kuzmenko in a really nice groove here for Rutgers Prep.
And with a little bit more padding on that lead, a 3-0 lead now. He looks like he's pitching with even more confidence. Looks like he's throwing harder as the game is actually going on. And when you see that, that's when you know a pitcher's really in the groove.
And he came in and got the save against PDS. Really tight spot for Rutgers Prep in that game as they had the 1-run lead. PDS had men on 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th inning. As this one is hit down the line foul. And in that at bat, there was a ball that was hit down the line, the right field line, that went foul by about just 5 feet. If it was fair, 2 runs would have scored. It would have been PDS in this championship game and not Rutgers Prep. The very next pitch was lofted out to right field, and the Argonauts were able to close out the Panthers 3-2. 1-2 the count here. Pitch is in the dirt, or the turf, I should say. 2-2 the count. Ryan Russo is the batter. He struck out looking his first time up. Kuzmenko's delivery is hit out of play to the right side. Over on to field 3. One of 6 turf fields here on the campus of Diamond Nation. Beautiful facility in Flemington, New Jersey. As this one's hit out to center field, and it'll hang up there for Emmett to make another catch. 2 lineouts to center field. Start the bottom of the 5th. And John Schaaf will come in.
Emmett looks very, very comfortable out there in center field. Any ball that's been hit in his direction, there really hasn't been a doubt.
Emmett shaded towards left center here with John Schaaf in the box. He's playing right field here today. And he hits this one to shortstop. Quickly up with it, and over is Shantz. Well done. And another quick 1, 2, 3 inning for Kuzmenko. He continues to roll, and Rutgers Prep holds by 3 as we head to the top of the 6th. It'll be Langenfeld, Gersbeck, and Kuzmenko. The top of the order for Rutgers Prep. Here in the top of the 6th inning. They hold by 3. Pat Dempsey remains on the mound for Morristown Baird. And this first pitch is grounded to second base. Green up with it over to first. Quickly one away. A lot of first pitch swingings in this game. These guys going up there with the attitude of putting the ball in play. That's what they've done for the most part. In fact, there has not been a strikeout recorded by Dempsey. This one chopped, foul. Nice play by Santuoso over there. He had a quick bare hand by Larry Santuoso, the head coach. Gets a little tip of the cap as well. We get a replay, a rare replay of the third base coach here.
Wow.
Short hop.
That's just an outstanding
with one
play.
hand.
It's really, really, really
Everybody's
impressive.
in the zone for Rutgers Prep right now, huh?
It's got to get your team juiced up, too.
Breaking ball is swung through. Strike 2. Gersbeck, the third baseman, hits this one high in the air. Right fielder calls off the second baseman, and it's man Schaaf to make the catch. First play for Schaaf in right field today. And that will bring up the top of the order with Kuzmenko. Kuzmenko grounded into an error. He got to first base, but didn't stay there for long as this pitch is delivered, and Kuzmenko hits it to left field. And that one carried deep, and the out is made as Vetriani retires him. And it's a quick 1-2-3 inning for Dempsey as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Still 3-0 Rutgers Prep. Big spot in the game here with the score 3-0. Rutgers Prep leads. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's the top of the order for Morristown Baird. Simon Rose, Tom Monfiletto. Tom, this might be the last time through the order for Morristown Baird. And if they don't get something going, then their title hopes could be slipping away.
Yeah, Kuzmenko has done a lot of this with minimal pitches. He's been really, really effective and efficient on the mound today. And 3 runs, it looks like, could be all that they need. However, you have the top of the lineup up for Morristown Baird, and sitting in the 3-hole, West Virginia-bound Brophy, the shortstop for the Crimson.
Kuzmenko has not given up a hit since the 2nd inning. He's retired the last 6 guys he's faced. And 9 of his last 10. Make that 10 of his last 11. 3 strikeouts on the game for Kuzmenko. The count 1-1 here to Dylan Sinegra. And that one is in there for a strike. Sinegro 1 for 1 on the game. He's been aboard twice. Singled in the first inning to lead off the game and walked in the third. And he chops this one to second base. Nearly beating it out. In fact, he does so. And we've got a down player, the first baseman for Rutgers Prep in Beck is writhing in pain on the ground. Not what you want to see if you are an Argonauts fan.
I think he's okay, Simon.
A little slow to get up. He's going to walk this one off. He's tough. He's a baseball player. As he may have just touched shoes with the speedy Sinegro. We'll give Sinegro a hit on that one as he legged it out.
Didn't mean to show that replay for that long, but he does seem to be okay. Walked it off. And
they might need him later, though, the way Kuzmenko is pitching. Maybe not, but as I mentioned before, Beck, one of the strong arms for this Morristown Bear team, or for this Rutgers Prep team. Here's Ryan Green with the runner in motion, so Sinegro will have to retreat to first as Henry shifts over and makes the catch.
And it's a botched hit and run attempt there for Morristown Bear, trying to get something going here, trying to stay out of a double play and also get a runner to third base. It did not work here, so we'll see if they send him. Kuzmenko is very, very quick to the plate. They do want to get somebody in scoring position to get a run on the board.
And here's Kevin Brophy. He is the big bopper for this team. He hits it deep to center, but it's going to stay in the park. And Emmett makes the catch. And one long out, one pitch seen by Brophy as he hits it to center. And he is 0 for 3 on this game.
I mean, it really is just such a beautiful swing, though. You understand why a lot of Division I coaches were really, really interested in Brophy. Look how he stays back on it, keeps his hands inside, just got underneath that a little bit. I think he might have thought, based on the bat flip, that it was going to go a little bit further than it indeed did. But he did make solid contact nonetheless. Kuzmenko doing a great job just challenging these Morristown Bear hitters.
It's cooled down considerably here this evening. Maybe if this game was played during the afternoon when the sun was shining, the heat was on, that ball carries a little bit more. Runner in motion, Sinegro is in there safely with a steal. 13th steal on the season for Dylan Sinegro. And he's in scoring position with Pat Davis at the plate.
Pretty good
count 0-2 to him.
Pretty good jump here by Sinegro, who is an excellent base runner. And nice job by Morristown Bear getting a runner in scoring position.
Pat Davis, the cleanup hitter, is 0 for 2 on the game. He is a guy that is hitting .327 this season. He'll take a walk, 10 walks this year, and he takes outside. However, he is down in the count 1-2. Got to shorten up the swing here, put the ball in play. It's getting to critical time for Morristown Bear, down by 3. And the way Kuzmenko is pitching here. Here's the delivery, strike 3 swinging. Down goes Davis, and Kuzmenko is through the 6th.
That is just a huge, huge pitch and a huge out, Simon, because what it does is it basically keeps Brophy in the dugout for the 7th inning, most likely. So the kind of the middle or last part of the middle to bottom half of the order are going to have to come back into this game.
Yep, 2, 3, and 4 for Morristown Baird. Go 1, 2, 3 after Dylan Sinegro, who's done his job as the leadoff man, got aboard. So we are going to the top of the 7th inning. It is a 3-0 Rutgers Prep lead.
Do you do anything after the game? What?
Here for the start of the 7th inning from Flemington, New Jersey. The home stretch of a long day of broadcasting here from Diamond Nation. Big congrats out to Gill St. Bernard's ladies softball team for winning the Prep B championship. They defeated Morristown Baird as the first pitch is swung on and will drop into center field, a base hit. Danny Shantz aboard. First hit of the game for the shortstop.
Shantz made an excellent play earlier in the game on a ball to his right. Tough play in the hole to get a runner at first. So he's had himself an excellent game. Shantz has been playing since he was a freshman here at Rutgers Prep. And he has developed very nicely here for the Argonauts.
One of just a few seniors on this Rutgers Prep team. In the starting lineup, Danny Shantz, Joe Gersbeck, and Chris Emmett are the only seniors on the field, as this one is hit in the air by Andrew Crystal, and he is retired by the center fielder. And Emmett, or in Senegra. Everyone else is a junior. Kuzmenko a junior, Crystal's a junior, Henry a junior, who's at bat here. And he swings, a heavy swing for strike one. Henry looking to put that one over the fence and really put the dagger in the hearts of Morristown Baird. Here's the 0-1 pitch, way outside, it gets away. And down to second base goes Shantz. Wild pitch will put a runner in scoring position. Henry's been aboard 3 times. Heck of a year for the right fielder. He's got 6 home runs. So no wonder he had that big swing. He waits on this one, hits it down the line. Look the runner back to second base. He's going to go to third anyway. Henry's out at first, but over to third base goes Shantz. That's really good base running by Danny Shantz. And he's now 90 feet away from home plate as Henry grounds out.
It really was a nice job, and Bomey probably would have had him with the pump fake, because the jump that Shantz had, as soon as Bomey came up to throw the ball, Shantz was gone to third base, and it was the only chance that he had, judging on how far he was up. But a little bit of speed and athleticism got him there.
If you're Bomey, you can't really do much more in terms of looking the runner back. Ball taken inside by Sam Beck. A little bit of a scare in the field for Beck last inning as he went down on that single by Senegra. Slow breaking ball is fisted out to left field, and coming in to make the catch is Vetriani. So the score is 3-0. One last chance for Mo Baird as they come up in the bottom of the 7th. They trail by 3. You're watching the NJISAA Prep B Championship live on the Strive Network. Bottom of the 7th inning, Kuzmenko on there to try to complete the shutout. He's been phenomenal to this point, and he'll face the 5, 6, and 7 hitters. Jansen, Facenda, and Bomey. hesitates and swings through the first pitch. Tom, what's the approach? You're down by 3 runs. You're coming out for the bottom of the 7th inning. Pitcher's rolling.
Yeah, I might take a strike actually. You know, it's tough to do that when Kuzmenko has been kind of lights out as far as throwing strikes is concerned. So
right.
Sometimes you want to jump on an early one, but you know, usually your approach when you're down 3 in the last inning is to be a little bit more selective and truly wait for your pitch and really make them earn each out.
0-2 here. Foul tip into the glove, strike 3. Kuzmenko continues to K. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strikeouts now for the junior. And bases empty for Facenda. Facenda was one of those 5 strikeout victims back in the 4th inning, and he lined out to left field in the 2nd. Here's the pitch. Outside corner, strike 2. And that aggressive strike call by the guy in blue behind the plate. That one a little bit off the plate. The umpire has been very lenient with that outside corner for Kuzmenko, but that one was definitely outside. So was that. And the count 2-2. Kuzmenko winds and deals the 2-2, strike 3, swinging. And the Crimson down to their final out. 3rd K in a row for Kuzmenko. And Tom, you mentioned this last inning, I believe it was, but he's gotten stronger as this game has gone along. Earlier in the game, we saw Mo Baird able to get the bat on the ball and get on base, but Kuzmenko has been shut down recently. He winds and deals the first pitch in there for strike 1. Ian Bomey, the last chance for this Crimson team. Strike 2. Kuzmenko firing on all cylinders, 1 strike away from a Prep B championship. Strike 3 called, and the Rutgers Prep Argonauts are Prep B champions. Kuzmenko strikes out the last 4 he faces, and he completes the shutout, 3-0 of the Crimson. What a performance by the junior pitcher. Going the distance here from Flemington. He ends with 7 strikeouts, again striking out his last 4. He retired 14 of the last 16 batters he faced. Overall, an incredible performance by the pitcher as the Rutgers Prep Argonauts have won the Prep B championship. As we get...
we're going to get you a replay of the final out here as I just find it. It was an interesting reaction from Kuzmenko.
It didn't seem, I thought maybe he thought that there was a 9-inning game or something for a moment. I thought maybe I'd made a mistake, but yeah, no reaction from him. It all came from his squad.
Right. And that inning was unbelievable. 3 straight strikeouts. It was as if they had absolutely no chance. He came out absolutely on fire, challenged the hitters, and just got the job done. He was fantastic today.
Here is that celebration. Final strike. Let's take a look at Kuzmenko. Yep, just another out. Just a little bit of a smirk, not even much.
And here comes Crispo, who just decks him, basically.
Yeah. That's good stuff right there. Great game by Rutgers Prep. The big blow by Garoso with that 2-out, 2 RBI double in the 5th inning. And the Rutgers Prep Argonauts pile up on the mound. That means they are NJISAA Prep B champions. There's Mary Klinger, the athletic director and actually the tournament manager for Rutgers Prep, the tournament manager here for the Prep Bees, the athletic director over there for the Argonauts. So Simon Rose here signing off. We thank you for joining us live on the Strive Network. Jason Wittenstein on graphics here for both of the games we did. Tom Monfiletto on the director position and doing color commentary here. One final game on the Strive Network schedule. Tomorrow we've got Blair Academy Girls Lacrosse. We'll see you then at 7 o'clock. Thanks for joining us, everyone, and congratulations to the Argonauts of Rutgers Prep.